Welcome to Chronic Love, a supportive space for people with chronic illness. I'm Robin, a psychologist in New York City navigating the fallout of a breast cancer diagnosis some years in. And I'm on a personal journey to join together with others who have similarly found themselves facing life challenges in the wake of chronic illness. Together, with the generous humans you're about to meet, we welcome you into our discussions.
I left an entire healthcare system for that express reason. I was not getting the quality of care I wanted. And so I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. The quality of care and the attention was not there. And if you're battling cancer, that's hard enough. You don't want to have to be battling your doctors too for their attention. You know, it's like, I got enough battles over here. Can I just come in and feel like VIP service for just one day? It came down to just every bit of my appointments was just not acceptable for me. I just was not okay. I was so stressed out about going to the doctor. I didn't even care that I was going in for cancer tests. You know, I'm like, I don't care that I'm going for scans. I'm more stressed out about the procedure that I have to go through and what it's going to be like in this doctor's office today. That's a problem. That is a major problem. And so I would go in there and they couldn't find my vein. And so now they're poking around in my arm 6 and 7 times with a needle, which hurts. I've got one good vein in this arm, and it's the one, you know, it's the one that gets used for all the things because it's there and it's big and it's, you know, it's the one. The rest of them are all pretty small and not team players. And there's barely anything over here. So I don't even let you touch that arm because I'm not going to be your pincushion. But they could never find the vein. And then, you know, when they do find the vein, it's like, I'm already stressed now because you've been stabbing me with needles and I'm in pain. And now you got to attach an IV to this. And then I got to have contrast. The waiting room, you know, was always a problem. There's always like 15 to 20 people in the waiting room and there's like no social distancing. I'm like, y'all know it's COVID, right? And we have lung cancer, the most susceptible to a respiratory disease. And then the whole entire process of scanning was stressful because that's just your scans. And the first time I went in there, they made me wait a week for my results. So I'm like, what? A week? I would go to NYU. The next day, I would sit down with the doctor and go over the results. You already have scanxiety leading up to your scans where you're freaking out because you're like, okay, I'm going in for these scans. The scans are going to tell me whether or not the medication is still working. And if I need to jump onto a new medication, do I have progression? Has this thing, you know, shown up in other places in my body now? Am I going to light up like a Christmas tree?
Your life hangs in the balance in those moments.
Yeah, you know, and so to have to wait a week to find out on top of the anticipation of going into the scans in the first place is torture. It's absolute torture. And so I came into the doctor's office 3 times. I think I went there. 2 or 3 times, and each time was like worse than the one before until finally the last time I told my doctor, I'm not coming back here. I was like, you guys aren't giving me the quality of care I feel like I deserve and that I need. I'm like, your assistants out in the waiting room are awful. I wait in the waiting room for 3 hours. 3 hours I'm sitting in the waiting room just to talk to the doctor for 10 minutes. Like, no. He's like, well, we're really busy on these days because we only have, we're only here on 1 day or 2 days. I'm like, well, that is a problem. You know, that means you're overloaded. Like you need to either scale back or add more days. You don't put all 52 of your patients on in 1 day. I believe they told me they had 60 patients in a day. I was like, huh? You only have 8 hours in a day. You're seeing people for maybe 2-3 minutes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so for me, that was just not acceptable. And I got tired of waiting in the waiting room for 3 hours to see a doctor for 10 minutes. I got tired of waiting a long period of time to get my results. I didn't feel like my doctor was up to speed on anything in the lung cancer community. Like it just wasn't working for me. And so finally I was like, there's not even any other doctors in this area. I'll leave the state to go get the care that I need because that's how important it is. And so now I treat in South Carolina, which is 2 hours away. And it's worth every mile I drive because the peace of mind that I get in my appointments, it means the world to me. like it's the kind of care that I need and that I want. Like they gave me ice water in the waiting room. I was like, oh, thank you. Because they were like, you're getting ready to have a CT scan, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, here, have some water because you're going to need that to hydrate. Ice water. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Went in for the scan. They gave me a warm blanket. It's usually freezing cold in those rooms if you're ever getting scans. A warm blanket felt like a hug from your mom. I was like, oh, thank you. The doctor called me the same day to tell me that I was okay. She was just like, I saw your results. I saw your blood work. All your results came back great. You're stable. There's no progression. Everything is good. I just wanted to call and tell you. She called me at 8 p.m., like 8 p.m. that night. I was like, she cares. Like most doctors, it's like 8 o'clock at night. Like you're not going to get a hold of your doctor. Every mile that I drive for that appointment is worth it because I know that I'm getting the quality of care that I deserve. I don't care that my doctor that was here was 15 minutes down the street. I will drive 2 hours to go see somebody who gives a shit.
Yeah. That is the quality of care you deserve. And you never deserve to have to deal with, it's heartbreaking that you have to drive so far to just be treated like a human when, if anybody should get this level of care, this level of attention, it's somebody who's already facing everything that you're facing.
Yeah. And it was awful. So I was like, and like I said, the last time I went there, he told me I was stable. I didn't even care. I was so aggravated at waiting in the waiting room for 3 hours and dealing with all that I was like, okay, great. Can I go home now? Like, I didn't even care. I was like, thanks. I'm going to go now.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to clear my day to get my cancer results. But that's what I mean by advocating for yourself. Like if it means you got to go the extra mile to get the quality of care you deserve. I mean, that doesn't, I don't condone having to do that. I shouldn't have to drive 2 hours to get the quality of care. Doctors' offices should all subscribe to the same level of care. But the truth and the harsh reality is that they don't. And so you have to go somewhere where they will. And sometimes that somewhere is out of state, but I promise you, it'll be worth every mile if it's a doctor who makes you feel like you matter, and like that they care. You'll be like, yeah, I will drive the 2 hours. It's fine.
Yeah. If you're watching this and resonating with any of this, we want you to know that you're not in this alone, that you're never in this alone. Until next time, sending love.
Until next time, sending love.
If any of this has been helpful for you, we welcome you to go ahead and to click the like and subscribe buttons. If you'd like to join us for a candid discussion about your experience with chronic illness, or if you'd like to connect to simply say hello, we welcome you to reach out through any of the social media platforms or through our website, and all of our information is listed below.